What is going on, everyone? Welcome into the Bettor Sports Betting Show on a Monday afternoon. Got Howard Bender with me on today's show again, fresh off 2 days of wild card games, and with the snow out, we got two more today: Bills, Steelers, Eagles, Bucks. That we will be giving out some betting picks and props for today's games. First one kicking off in a little under 3 hours here. So we got to get these bets in. And then tonight, Eagles, Bucks. Howard, how you doing, man? We're going to react a little bit to what happened in these past 2 days. And, before the show here, we're both a little giddy about what happened to the Dallas Cowboys yesterday, aren't we?
All right. Listen, you know what? Because we're going to go through, we're going to talk about the bets that we won and we lost and everything like that. I had a 500 record and I lost a couple of bucks actually because the wins just didn't, they were on like minus 115 or whatever the prop was at that point. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Because I've done this too. I sacrificed all playoff lineups that I have like FFPC entries that use Dak Prescott, or CD Lamb. I'm like, building stuff like that. I am willing to sacrifice it all, 100%, all of it, to have the Cowboys lose like that in the first round. That was amazing. It was yummy delish. It was. I am maniacal with happiness over this whole thing. I reposted my friend Michael Fabiano's video of him whining and crying and blah, blah, blah. Somebody sent me a copy. My mentions on social media are so amazing.
Oh, man.
Amazing with all of these Cowboys memes and GIFs and everything like that. And I was like, well, I better show some humility and wear my Jets colors today because listen, this one is for all of you Cowboys fans who just aggravate us to no end throughout the entire season about how great you are and this is your year and blah. So to see it all happen like this was majestic.
I am agreeing with every single word you just said. And I love it that you said before that you don't care if you have CD Lamb in a playoff league or you picked the Cowboys against the spread and was one of your picks, but if they could all lose with the Cowboys losing, then it's all fine.
It's all worth it. It's all worth it. Like I would pay, I would be willing to pay money to see all Cowboys fans suffer like this. In particular, the ones who I associate with. Now, like Adam Ronis is usually pretty good. He's a quiet guy throughout the season because he knows, right?
He knows what's coming.
He knows what's coming. But man,
some of the other people you work with,
Jim Bowden, Michael Fabiano, even a little Britt Flynn out there. Like she's Cowboys girl too. And they genuinely believe it so much that like a loss like this just devastates them to the point where I'm just, I am super giddy about this entire thing. And wait, it's gonna get better for me too, because now I'm gonna be betting all money against the Cowboys if they do in fact bring in Bill Belichick.
Yeah,
because I'll say this. The person who said to me about Bill Belichick, and maybe his time in New England is up, maybe the game has passed him by. Maybe he's not the innovative, fantastic defensive-minded coach that we've known for so many years. Perhaps the evolution of the game and the evolvement of new coaching schemes and new spins off of different things. Like all of a sudden, is Bill Belichick, is he going to bring that that scheme, that Patriots scheme to the Dallas Cowboys? It's never going to work.
I think that's the expectation that Jerry Jones is going to be. He's in panic mode now, and he needs to hire someone like Bill Belichick, or maybe he brings in, Pete Carroll. Who knows what's going to happen here? There was a moment yesterday. Obviously, before once it started out like 20-0 for the Packers in that game, but there was a moment when the pick six happened to stretch the lead even more, and in my mind, I was like, why didn't I just throw out the Packers money line in this game? Like that was like maybe seemed a little too obvious at the moment, but like it was just the Cowboys it imploded completely. We got some people chiming in here on the chat. What?
Yeah, wait, I will say to Jerry Nelson, no, Britt did not cancel her show this morning because of the Cowboys loss. I'm just talking about like conversations I've had with her of the Cowboys. She actually lost power. They're in like some sort of like a huge snowstorm blizzard thing going on down where she's at, and so that's why she did. But I love all of these. Fire Jerry Jones. I don't think you can fire Jerry Jones, right? Doesn't he own the team?
He should cede control to his sons and just let that go.
Oh my God. Yeah, I see Thru's in there. Justin's in there. Oh yeah, look at that. There is like a Stephen A. Smith video of laughing. This was
from, I think it's from last year or something too.
Correct, yes. But it's timeless. You can use it every
year. I did see a video of Stephen A. Smith after every like Cowboys loss, especially in the playoffs. He just takes a video of himself just laughing. Which is hilarious.
Oh my God!
Fire McCarthy. I think that it hasn't happened yet, but you got to assume that's coming,
dude. Angelo's got the comment of the century right there. Angelo's got the comment of the century. Nothing, literally. I don't think there is anything in the world that would make me happier
if they hired Arthur.
If they hired Arthur Smith in Dallas.
Oh man! Listen, I'm glad you're on this side. You're reacting this way because as an Eagles fan, nothing gives me more joy than watching the Cowboys lose. The Eagles tonight could complete their collapse and lose tonight, as I half expect to happen. But the Cowboys lost the way they did yesterday. I'm fine. All is good.
I'm feeling the vapors here. I'm over it.
You need to take a moment. All right. Let's recap some of the betting picks that we threw out on Friday's show.
There's Servo. Look at you. I forgot about you with the long blonde hair. I remember that.
I went through some bad weeks this week. It was all in the long game. I've been waiting until the playoffs to really start, funneling in on the NFL. I went 7-0 with my props and bets. You had some winners.
You got like a little fire emoji next to your
little fire
props.
First time I saw that fire emoji all season. I'll take it. But the Chiefs and the Pacheco props. That was with the weather the way it was and the Dolphins offense just not being able to handle it, and their defense with all those injuries. And once the Chiefs got going with Pacheco on the ground, I felt pretty good about those early on. We both had the over in the Packers Cowboys game, so at least that cashed right. And then we both had the Rams too. Almost last night, almost pulling out the win. They had to settle for 3 field goals. They probably could have and should have won if they had scored a touchdown with one of those red zone trips. But the Lions do squeak it out. But we both covered the spread there at least.
Yeah, feel good about that. That was fine. I mean, listen, you know what it was? I mean, you were looking for good games. You were looking for competitive games, right? And I mean, listen, you nailed it with your picks, and it's fantastic. I love that. I'd love to see that momentum like carried into the next round. But I think again, listen, it was just, I guess the Houston Texans Browns game was a bit of a shitstorm, I guess. I mean, I had the Browns obviously, so I was pulling for them. I mean, it was over and it was done quick. But in truth, I mean, my heart was with C.J. Stroud, right? Him, D'Amico Ryans. Shout out to Kobe Conway, right? I mean, like, so I was okay with that. And like, you know me, Servo, any chance I get to crap on Cleveland, well, I mean, sign me up. I'm there for it. So, but like to me, all the other games like had, a little bit of, nice little vested interest there. The Chiefs, dominated. Listen, I had the Dolphins, keeping this game closer. And I love what the Chiefs did. I love what Steve Spagnuolo did. You said it even there here on the show on Friday that, Steve Spagnuolo with his defensive schemes. I mean, Spags knows the Dolphins. He knows Mike McDaniel. And he knows that scheme. So, I mean, that was entertaining for me. Was it Friday show? Was I wearing my SMU Mustang shirt again?
It might have been Friday, yeah.
So, I mean, I love me some Rashee Rice, of course. Yeah. So, I mean, I'm happy to sit there and support all of that happening. And then, yeah, I mean, last night was, Lions Rams was it was a great game. It was back and forth, and you're completely right. Rams would have won that had they turned one of those red zone trips into a touchdown instead of settling for all those field goals. I mean,
yeah.
Shout out to Brett Maher, who I have in a playoff league, right? I mean, 96 field goals that dude kicked. But yeah, it was, I mean, listen, I thought Sunday football was so much better than Saturday football for me.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, yeah, the Texans, yeah, it kind of looked over pretty early, and there was a moment where it was like, oh wait, this is still an old Joe Flacco for the Browns, and he's trying to pull this comeback when they're down double digits. The only actual like one score competitive game that we had was that last night, the Rams Lions. So hopefully tonight and today, we got Steelers Bills. The spread's a little big, but hopefully it's a little competitive. And then Eagles Bucks, it's only a 3-point spread, so should get some little better games today. So yeah, those are bets from yesterday. Let's dive into today's games. Steelers Bills is this first one. Again, if you missed it, this has been pushed to today, postponed yesterday because of the snow and the weather there. But they hired $20 per hour for people to shovel snow yesterday to help clear the field. I saw a picture. So that was yesterday. But I saw a picture today. It looks like the field is pretty much cleared. The stands still have snow in it or whatever, but the field looks pretty good to go. Worth noting though, so yesterday, obviously the conditions were terrible. It's going to be cold. It's still going to be a little snowy, still going to be wind. So the weather could actually still play a factor, but it just isn't as bad as yesterday. But this game, we gave out picks on Friday, but I think worth reiterating and just seeing if we have any added on picks for this game now that it's moved back a day. Bills are 10-point favorites. The total's actually gone up a little bit since it has been moved from yesterday to today. So the total's at 38.5. Where are you going with this game?
I mean, I'm going to go back to my original, where I was at. I think it was like earlier in the week we were talking about it. And, for me, it was Bills -10 and the under. Right. And I was fine with that. And then all of a sudden, then it was like, the blizzard came in and whatever. And I was like, all right, well, if they play it on Sunday, then I want the Steelers plus the 10 points. Right. And I'll stay on the under here as well. But I mean, it was like ticking down to like 35, 34 at that point. So, for where it is right now, the 38.5 and the field seemingly clear. Winds aren't going to be more than 10 to 15 miles an hour, so I don't think it's going to have a negative effect on the passing game. So I'm going to stay with the Bills, and I'm going to stay on the under.
All right. Well, I'm jumping onto the Bills here. I didn't give this out on Friday. I was a little worried about what the weather was, if it could just turn to an ugly game and the Steelers just keeping it close, because of the weather. But now that it's moved to today and the weather's just a little bit better, I think I'm jumping on the Bills here, minus the 10. Just think that they are going to, kind of a theme that we've seen so far as we were talking about some of these just blowouts where the better team is kind of just proven it. I think this could be another double-digit win for the Bills. The TJ Watt injury and absence for the Steelers is pretty glaring to me too in this game. Looking back, shout out to the people that have researched, done, thrown out this stat. Maybe you've seen it too. Is that TJ Watt, when he's been out for the Steelers, they're 1-10 straight up without him in the lineup. And their defense last year and this year, it's gone from like, top 10 down all the way to like bottom tier of the league when he's out. So this is just a huge absence. And I think that the Bills are going to just prove, pound the run in this game. I think Josh Allen is, going to be comfortable. I don't think he needs to do much in this game, though. I just have worries about what the Steelers can do offensively with Mason Rudolph, who I know they've pulled out some wins here. They've backed into the playoffs, but I think it comes back down to reality for him and the Steelers in this game.
I'm curious to see what kind of a game plan they have for this one here. Everything about what you said about the Steelers defense, 100% true. TJ Watt being out is a huge, huge blow. I did see a report that they just signed Miles Jack from the practice squad into the regular roster to try and kind of help bolster things, a little bit there. I mean, Miles Jack, great pedigree coming into the NFL, just never really delivered for Jacksonville when he was with them. So, listen, I think that, I look at this. I wonder how they're going to score. Like the Bills need to focus on stopping the run. Yeah. Like you need to show them right from the start that Najee Harris and Jaylen Warren aren't going to get, they're not going to plow through. If you don't do that, then you are opening up yourself to a worse game. So I think that's the focus that the Bills the Bills defense needs to have in this game to try and control everything from there. But listen, man, Josh Allen, it's the Bills. Josh Allen's gonna throw a pick, by the way. I'm just gonna. I said this. This was my prop from last week.
Yeah,
right? Friday show. I still stand by it here. He'll throw a pick. Now that it's like I was like when I saw this, I had bet this, and then the game, and I saw the weather report on Sunday, and I was like, oh man, that's really. I was like, yeah, I mean, could bounce off of somebody's hands or whatever, and kind of end up with that. I think that's what I was talking about, like a little deflection into the interception. When it was like going to be a disaster area there, I was like, oh crap, he's not going to throw it all. But now that they moved it to Monday, I was like, ooh, happy accident. My prop days.
Yeah, but better chance of him throwing more attempts in this game. And
the
weather, as I said, it's still, we're still going to get windy conditions and it's still going to be cold. Like you could easily get a ball bouncing off someone's hands or just a ball that's a little wobbly because of the wind. And the Steelers I did see, so they are getting Minkah Fitzpatrick and Devontae Kazee back for this game. I think they were out last week. So
is Kazee back? I thought he was suspended indefinitely.
Oh, did I not? Let me just do. I thought I saw he was active.
That would be crazy. That would be insane.
Yeah, he's back.
Wow.
Yeah.
Suspension.
Yeah, I think suspension's over. Yeah. So Kazee and Fitzpatrick, but just two guys that could easily pick off Josh Allen for you there. All right, my prop I threw out on Friday's show, and I'm still sticking with it. Liked it a little bit more when we had the worst conditions, but I still think this can cash. Is James Cook over 15.5 rushing attempts. I think that it's still going to be, as I said, a little bit, it's still going to be a bad weather game. So I just think the Bills are going to lean on the run either way, especially in the second half if they are playing with a lead, which I expect to be the case. So I feel like they're going to feed James Cook here in this game. Since the Bills switched to Joe Brady as the offensive coordinator, he's averaged 17 carries per game in these games, has at least 16 rushing attempts in 5 of the last 7, with some 20 carry games mixed in there. So I just think he's going to be – this is a run-focused offense, and especially with the weather situation, but the Bills likely playing with a lead. Give me Cook to go over his rushing attempts.
I like it. Big fan of James Cook. All right, so we're in this together. We're both rooting for the Bills. We're rooting for a good beaten yet low scoring at the same time.
Yes.
All right.
Let's flip to Monday night. We got Eagles-Buccaneers. I know I got a couple picks I added on for this game. Just looking at it a little bit more. We got some clarity on injuries Eagles 3-point favorites here on the road. 43.5 is the over-under. AJ Brown has been ruled out for the Eagles, so that's notable. It looks like Hurts is good to go for the Eagles. Mayfield comes in a little banged up, but he's expected to play. And then Devontae Smith has been practicing in full this week, so that's the other injury for the Eagles side. I know you have you changed your picks from Friday, because I know you had a couple leans on this game on Friday's show.
I don't think. Well, I mean, there was a big deal with the AJ Brown not being there, right? So, I wanted to look at Dallas Goedert props, but there was nothing good in there. Like, I mean, there was too much juice on it. They immediately raised it until they had some sort of an assessment here. But I know that you've got a little Julio Jones little thing going on there.
Yeah, let me throw that out.
Yeah, because I actually I want to double down on that one.
Yeah, come along. Because I looked at when this opened up. I don't know when it opened up, but I saw it yesterday. Is Julio Jones over 1.5 receptions for this game? Because AJ Brown being out. Howard, what are you turtling here? Are you going into your shell?
Just for the time being.
All right, Julio Jones over 1.5 receptions. AJ Brown being out, it's just going to lead to more targets. And if you look at the Eagles receiving core, Julio is, kind of the like-for-like replacement as the bigger bodied receiver, shorter completions for the possession receiver that AJ Brown likes to do with Hurts. So I think targets are going Julio's way here. Much more likely candidate than smaller guys like Quez Watkins, Olamide Zaccheaus in the Eagles receiving core to step into some of those, targets that AJ Brown was seeing as the bigger bodied guy. He has not gone over. He's only gone over 1.5 catches in 3 of his 8 games with the Eagles this year. But he, last week he saw 4 targets after AJ Brown went out. He had 2 catches last week. So over 1.5 receptions here.
Over 1.5 receptions. I like that, Servo. I like that very, very much. In fact, I like it so much that I may or may not have done a little sprinkle.
Ooh.
Plus 400 anytime touchdown for Julio Jones. It's also on Underdog Fantasy, a 2.75 multiplier for you if he gets into the end zone, right? I mean, listen,
I can see that happening.
Right? Yeah. We could throw the Julio Jones revenge game narrative out there. He played for Tampa Bay for 5 minutes last year, right? We could talk about that. I mean, this is just with no AJ Brown. This is the world in which we live. I wish that they looked for Dallas Goedert in the end zone more. I really do, but they don't. Hurts actually, if he's down there and he's throwing, he's throwing it up in the air. He's not, he's not zipping it in, to the tight end at the goal line. Or maybe he is. Maybe he's trying to get Goddard there at the 1 so that he gets stopped so they can do a tush push. I don't know. But I'm going to play around with some Julio Jones stuff too tonight. Just for the fun.
I like it. Yeah, I could easily see him getting in the end zone. Angelo Cornholio, LOL.
I am the great Cornholio.
That's what you're doing. I see.
Cornholio.
By the way, on the Dallas Goedert thing, the way the Eagles kind of run things on offense, I feel like his role is kind of going to stay the same, in my opinion. You might see a couple more targets and catches, but we're talking about AJ Brown was an outside receiver. I think they're just going to put Julio in that spot and just as the possession big body guy. On the whole side of this though. Also, I jumped on this. Give me Devontae Smith over his receiving yards today, because I just think with A.J. Brown out, this is going to be a lot of Devontae. 68.5 is the number here. If you look around, there's some smaller yardage totals, like 64.5 different sports books. So get the lowest you can. But I just think Devontae Smith comes in here, by the way, 70-plus receiving yards in 5 of the last 7 games, too. And he hurt his ankle, was out last week, but he's practiced in full this week, so he should be good to go. I think it's going to be a big Devontae Smith game, just as the number one wide receiver now in this Eagles offense.
Should be. I mean, listen, again, Tampa Bay funnels everything to the middle of the field. So guys who go across the middle, tight ends, they succeed against Tampa Bay. They're one of the worst teams in coverage against the tight end, which is so funny too, because they leave Antoine Winfield out against receivers. They don't usually bring Antoine Winfield in to handle the tight end. They feel like they feel like their linebackers are good enough in cover, and they're not. So yeah, but I haven't wavered on my call here though, Servo. I'm sorry to say, man, but I got the with news that Baker Mayfield is expected to play. I know he was listed as questionable. I think that your Eagles are it's still hurting a little bit, my friend. There's a little bit of a tailspin going on, and it's in their heads now too. It's not just, like why the NFL decided to make them sweat it out and wait until Monday, right? And all they're doing is thinking.
They know there's a good chance that there could be an upset here.
Rachaad White's my boy, right? What do I have him at, over 16.5 rushing attempts?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Eagles' run defense has been really bad over the last month or so here. So I think, especially with the Mayfield just being banged up, I could see the Bucs leaning on the run in this one. On the Bucs side things, these are two I threw out on Friday. I'm still sticking with it. I think the odds have gotten a little worse, so maybe you want to look around. But Cade Otton over his 2.5 receptions and over 21.5 receiving yards are what I locked in on Friday. I think the receiving yards has gone up, and the odds on the 2.5 has gotten a little worse. But I think you should still look around, lock it in, maybe throw in parlays.
What do you have as receiving yards prop at?
21.5.
Oh yeah, it's at 24.5 now.
Yeah, I think I saw it go up. I still think it because the Eagles, so they've allowed at least 22 receptions to a tight end in 9 of the last 10 games now, and they've allowed at least 3 receptions to a tight end in 10 straight games. So I still think the over 2.5 receptions cashes. And I still think, I think he gets 25 to 30 yards because he doesn't usually do this, but he does have at least 30 receiving yards in 7 of the last 11, going back and looking at Cade Otton. So I just think the matchup against the Eagles, who have struggled against tight ends all season long, it just kind of favors Otton being a little bit more involved in this matchup. Eagles, by the way, Reed Blankenship, their safety, is out for this game.
Ooh.
So that's a big loss because they have Kevin Byard, but they might be asking Byard to do a little bit different things now with Blankenship out, one of their starting safeties.
You're in trouble.
Don't say that. Don't say it.
Uh-oh.
Listen, there's a reason I'm not throwing out a bet on the spread or the total because obviously I will be just rooting for the Eagles. I don't care how it happens. If it's a 1-point win, give me that,
Listen, again, you sacrifice your like if there's certain things, like if you're not like, listen, I get it. Betting is a business for people and it's a grind and you don't want to lose money. But listen, we as analysts here, we have to make picks, on these games. And sometimes we don't really want to because it is our team. So, listen, I will, instead of, if I don't want to pick against the Jets, but if I have to pick against the Jets, I'll do it. That's the way it goes. So you can love your team. You can love your Eagles.
With that being said, I do think, Howard, you are on the right side of being on Bucks plus the 3.
Bucks plus 3. I don't know, man. I don't know. Listen, I went 50-50, right? I missed I hit 3 over-unders out of 4, and I only picked one team against the spread correct over the weekend. So not like I know anything that I'm talking about. How about that?
Well, you're due. You're due to get a win tonight.
I love it. I love being due. I do.
All right. That's a show for us. Quick and easy on a Monday. Only these 2 wild card games. So we'll see how this shakes out today. I know there's a bunch of NBA games going on all day with it being Martin Luther King Day. Because the NBA likes to play these games. There's some college basketball during the day as well. If you want any NBA bets, Iggy Gilbert has his article up on Fantasy Alarm. So check that out right now. He's got some props and some game bets for all of today's games. So definitely look at that. We'll be back tomorrow. Again, 2 p.m. Eastern here on Bettor Sports Network and Fantasy Alarm. Got some college basketball, NHL, little hoops tomorrow to break down on tomorrow's show. But Howard, good luck with all your own bets, except your Bucks +3. Well, I hope that doesn't catch, but everything else can cash. Okay.
And I think that we can all appreciate the fact that we can sign off today's show with how about them Cowboys?
How about them Cowboys? In the Jimmy Johnson voice. Have fun on your SiriusXM show today with Jim Bowden and ribbing Michael Fabiano and all the other Cowboys fans out there. Sorry to Britt Flynn. I hope your situation with the snow is doing okay though, but your Cowboys letting you down a little bit there. Howard's just going to keep laughing for the next few hours here. So we're going to end today's show. Thanks for everyone for tuning in, chiming in on the YouTube chat here as always. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Good luck and take care.
Bettor Sports Betting on the Bettor Sports